I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. The reason that you're not where you wanna be yet is because you're not willing to give anything up. You want new results with the same formula. How'd it work? I think the reason why people don't like this is because it forces you to be uncomfortable. However, success is on the other side of comfort. Do you wanna be comfortable or do you wanna be successful? What's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you are new here, my name is Briana, also known as Bri. I am your Gen Zennial bestie, your virtual sis, working to successfully navigate her 20s in an attempt to thrive in her 30s. So if this sounds like something that aligns with what you want for yourself, like, comment, and subscribe. I promise you are going to love it here. This is a journey that consists of growing and glowing and elevating to becoming the best versions of ourselves. But there's a lot of real life lessons and mistakes along the way. So with all that being said, that journey would be 10 times better if you were a part of it. So I hope you stick around. And for those who are reoccurring, mwah, y'all already know the vibes. So, don't mind my appearance. The girl is getting ready to go out. I am going to likely make this a series of some sorts, and that is my chit chat, get ready with me. This is a great time for me to chat with y'all. I love talking while I'm getting ready and just having girl talk, if you will. But I don't even want to categorize this as girl talk because I feel like this is just across the board a necessary topic that I feel like we need to put a little bit more emphasis on, especially where self-improvement and self-development is concerned. There are so many channels and podcasts and books that were trying to help people grow and become the best versions of themselves, right? A lot of these videos and platforms and podcasts and things of that nature, you look to try to find a way to achieve what you want to achieve the easiest way possible. So the videos you're gonna click on are how you lose weight in 30 days, how to become unrecognizable in 60 days, how to become a millionaire in 5 minutes. Like those are the things that we tend to lean toward because it is human nature that we want to have more results with less work. However, that is not the reality. I don't want to perpetuate that idea because it's not actual factual, it's not real. And I'm here to talk about sacrifice, which is what I feel like a lot of us tend to lack. We want to achieve so much, but we want to give so little. And I have a very, very strong feeling that the reason you are not where you want to be is because you ain't willing to give anything up. And I'm not just talking at you because I think I'm holier than thou, baby. I've had to have this conversation with myself. So that's what we're gonna be talking about in today's video, the art of sacrifice. I also want to not just normalize it because I don't feel like it's normal in today's society. We wanna just get where we wanna go without giving anything up. We need to normalize it. We need to re-normalize it rather. I wanna show you guys why it's not only beneficial, but it's beautiful. I genuinely think that it is. I really just want to get into it because I think that it's one of them topics that a lot of people don't like. Like nobody wants to hear that they have to work harder, that they have to give things up. It's like a rip the band-aid off kind of conversation, but it's one that we need to have. And I think I would be doing you a disservice if I wasn't straightforward and upfront and honest about that because I've had to be that for myself. So if I'm gonna have these pep talks with myself and I'm gonna be locking in, doing a good bit of sacrifice in order to meet my goals, what type of sis would I be to not share that same wisdom and information and mindset shift with you? What are besties for? Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to provide you with 3 reasons why you need to implement sacrifice into your life in order to see success. And the first reason is that sacrifice builds endurance. So a story came up for work that was about a teenage boy, a young black man, a 17-year-old young man in New Jersey who had achieved a perfect SAT score. Like, that's crazy. That's wonderful. It's magical. It's like almost unheard of. And in the interview that he did with the news, the local news, he says something along the lines of, when you're running track, the race itself is not the hardest part. The training beforehand is the hardest part. So you've already done all the work. Like, all you got to do right now is run. And that's the same mindset that he applied with the SAT scores. Like, the training and the studying that he had to put in order to even come close to doing well, let alone to get a perfect score, do you think required any amount of sacrifice? Like, how many Saturdays do you think that he had to sacrifice in order to get a perfect score? Like, What he's saying is we need to not be so focused on that like end all be all, the end result, on the destination, and actually put a little bit more effort into the getting it out the mud part of it. And that requires sacrifice. That part of it is in fact sacrifice. Another large component of the endurance that's built when you do decide to finally commit yourself and sacrifice some things is that it will also teach you discipline. There is no way that you will be able to accomplish any true goal of yours without having some form of discipline. So when you build up that endurance, you learn how to become more resilient. You learn how to become more disciplined. In that regard, you'll also be able to say, okay, I know I need to tell myself no. I know I need to work hard for these things right now. If you're telling yourself no for all of these different aspects of your life where you might have to lock in order to achieve what you want, you'll be able to have better discipline when you do achieve those things. Another like flip side of the coin is that if you tell yourself no, let's just take a minute to unpack that. Telling yourself no. Y'all, I can't stress this enough. I've talked about this on my channel before about how I feel like 27 has been a very different year for me. I did not have the same attitude as my 26th birthday. My 27th birthday has felt very, very grown. It's given me a different vibe. I went into it very different, and I turned 27 in August, and ever since then I feel like I have just been maneuvering in a different wavelength. I've been exuding a different aura, and that is because honestly I've been saying no to a lot more things. When you do not know how to say no, not even just to other people, I'm talking about to yourself, your personal growth will depend on your ability to tell yourself no. Self-accountability, I don't even think that I could put it into words how important it is for you to be able to have it. Some people feel like they need to have a trainer, for example, at the gym because they struggle with telling themselves no, or maybe they even feel the need to have a dietitian or someone who is literally hovering over them, telling them what they can and cannot eat and what they can and cannot do. And when you're at the gym yourself, you have to have that mentality where you could be like, bro, I gotta do one more set. Like, I gotta do this. Versus some person who might not have the same amount of self-discipline being like, I don't feel like doing no more and I'm going to go home. I actually want Chipotle and that's what I'm gonna get. Like, those are two different types of people. Cool, you could pay for a trainer, but there's some aspects of your life where you cannot just poof, let me instill a at-home babysitter. You're no longer at home with your parents. There's no one there to tell you that it's not okay for you to have Dairy Queen for breakfast. There's no one to tell you no, you have to do your homework, you can't go outside. There's no one to tell you that. So as we are growing into these new, wonderful, more mature versions of ourselves and we're trying to accomplish these goals, how bad you want it will be determined upon your ability to tell yourself no. If you genuinely struggle with that, I highly suggest that you work on how much you sacrifice. Giving things up, especially things that do not serve you, will help you to build up that endurance, to flex that muscle. Even when you do allow yourself to indulge a little bit more in whatever it is that you're telling yourself no for, you're gonna do so in a way that is in moderation, in a way that makes sense, that better aligns with you. So with that being said, sacrifice will build that endurance that you need in order to tell yourself no, just enough, because there will be a time where you can tell yourself yes and yes and yes. So work up the ability to do that by working on your sacrifice. The second reason that you need to work on the art of sacrifice is because sacrifice makes you more grateful. By the time you're seeing this, it's likely been Ramadan, also Lent. A lot of people have fasted. I think that a lot of different religions practice sacrifice and fast to some capacity for this reason. And that's because you become a lot more humble and wholesome and grateful when you do engage in sacrifice. So for me, I personally did my first fast ever, and that was only a partial fast, but it still was a lot for me because I used to not understand it. I used to not get it. The idea of not eating, I just used to always be like, it's never that serious. I'm not a happy camper. If I do not eat, I will be an evil person. Like, no. Nope. There's no reason why God would want me not to eat. However, I decided to do it for the first time and I felt like I learned so much. I really didn't get it until I did it and then I got it. So I'm not telling you that you need to do a spiritual fast or religious fast. I feel like that's something that everybody needs to take the time to read and research and pray about before making the decision to do so. But the level of gratitude that I had, I was so much more appreciative for every little thing. I used to say grace light, thinking of Then when I was doing that fast, I was like, thank you, Jesus. The bread on this plate, Lord God, you have blessed this food. I was just so grateful. And I feel like it has made me be a lot more grateful overall, like not just where food is concerned. I also think that it has made me less gluttonous. And I think this could be applied not just where food is concerned either. You will realize that you don't need half as much of the stuff as you think you quote unquote need when you decide to practice sacrifice. I'm going to be engaging in a few different forms of sacrifice, if you will, as we continue it throughout the month of March. There are things that I'm giving up for religious reasons. There are things that I'm giving up for health reasons. There are things that I am giving up just because I just want to. I literally just want to. I've been feeling called to let certain things go, and it doesn't have to be for a permanent situation. For me, it's gonna be more of a disciplinary practice for the month of March because I've been feeling called to do so for this month. But I'm going to see how it impacts my mental health, my body, my spirit, and go from there. Some people do a dry January. I did not partake in that, but I am doing something like that, but I'm giving up other things. Let's just say that that's what you decided to give up. It can still make you feel more grateful for so many more things. Maybe you were just so used to being inebriated for different milestones. Like maybe you have a couple birthdays that you attend in January and you're so used to being so lit. Maybe on New Year's you decided not to drink because you started dry January. You've become so much more grateful for the experience because you're looking at it with sober eyes this time. Or maybe you're so much more grateful for water because you've never been this thirsty before ever. And now it's like small things that you are finding yourself to be more appreciative of. And I think that it's essential also when working towards your goals to practice sacrifice as it pertains to your gratefulness and your gratitude and your humility, because when you're working hard towards certain things, I think that we have the tendency to just focus on what's next, Once you achieve one thing, you struggle to take the time to actually be like, okay, let me be thankful for this win. That we're always just working towards the next goal. So I've had to catch myself with that even because I mentioned this in a previous video, but I actually just promoted at my job and I'm already thinking about what's next. I'm thinking about the numbers. I'm thinking about the salary increase. I'm just like focusing so much on the tangibles of it. And we have a tendency to do that, us goal-oriented people. You know, we want great for ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you take the time to let go of certain things, to give certain things up, it will flex a muscle of gratitude inside of you. And you will not only have it for things that are directly related to whatever it is that you're giving up, but you'll also just be a more grateful and humble person, which I think is very crucial if you want to achieve great and new things in 2025 and thereafter. Last, but I think most important, is that if you want new things, if you want to accomplish new things, achieve new things, you have to make room for them. I know we don't want to hear it, but sometimes we have to recognize that we may not be accomplishing certain things because it cannot exist in our lives with some of the stuff that we got going on. And that's keeping it all the way a buck. I think that I mentioned this earlier, but we have the tendency to want new things and to want to accomplish stuff without putting in the work. And sometimes putting in the work requires us to let things go, to shed things. There's a Bible verse that we've been referencing a lot in church, and it's Hebrews 12 verses 1 and 2. And it basically says something along the lines of throwing off whatever hinders you, sin included, anything that entangles sin, and running with endurance towards Jesus for the joy that is to come. Something along those lines. I paraphrase real bad. But what we've been asking ourselves and what I want to ask y'all is, what hinders you? And I want you to be all the way real with yourself. You don't even got to keep it a buck with me. Okay, so you can comment in the comments if you want to, but you do not have to be honest with me. Be honest with yourself. Look at your goals. If you've been setting the same exact goals for years, and I'm not talking at you, this is someone who has done this herself. If you've been setting the same exact goals over and over and over, and you are blaming the reason why you haven't achieved them on so many other things.
Oh, I can't get the body that I want because my body just built like this. It's just nothing I can do. It's just in my anatomy. Oh, I can't save up this amount of money because it's always something. I'm a mother and I'm a good big sister. It's always something happening in my car, always breaking down. I can't achieve this goal at work because...
Look around you. And I even implore you to say a prayer and ask God if you can't see it, because sometimes we be blind because we be in it. So I get that. But I need you to try to take a step back, look at your circumstance, and also get on your knees and ask God, what is hindering me from achieving this thing, from achieving this goal, from working toward where it is that I want to be? Because I no longer want to be here. And that's real. And we've all been there. I'm not saying that it's impossible for you to get out from under that hole, from under that rock, but there's likely something that you got going on that's hindering you from accomplishing that goal. Or maybe that goal and that man can't exist in the same space. I'm sorry. Maybe that goal and that habit of yours cannot exist in the same space. You got a goal to save money and you have a very expensive habit that you cannot knock, or you haven't tried to knock because you were just so convinced that you could do both. But it's costing you a lot of money to buy an eighth every week. I don't know. That just came out. I don't know. There's no tea, no shade, you know. If you have financial goals and you able to do that, then maybe that I ain't talking to you. But I'm saying you have to really analyze and not be afraid to give something up, because sometimes we do. And I think the reason why people don't like this is because it forces you to be uncomfortable. However, we all know this. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Success is on the other side of comfort. Do you want to be comfortable or do you want to be successful? Let me say that with my chest real quick. Do you want to be comfortable or do you want to be successful? Sacrifice requires you to be uncomfortable. So me personally, I know for a fact that I haven't achieved the goals that I have set for myself on YouTube yet, because I was never as consistent as I am now. And that's because I was outside, I was running the streets, I'm living my best life, I'm doing me. Cool. And I was in my early 20s and I had a lot going on. I was moving from Pennsylvania to Georgia. I was doing a lot, and all of that's fine and dandy, but it's also excuses. As I talked about in number 1, I started building up that endurance right around the time I turned 27. It took me a while to do it, but once I started doing it, I started working on my ability to say no. And since then, I don't think I've missed a week. And that's a big deal for me. So imagine if I had kept up this same level of consistency and discipline back when I started in 2020. There's no telling where I would be right now, but woulda, coulda, shoulda, it don't matter. I'm here now. And that's one of the things where I know I had to actually sacrifice, because I enjoy going outside. I enjoy turning up with the best of them, but I wasn't functionable to wake up and film a video like this or edit a video on the weekend when I was hungover from the day before. I wasn't staying up late and waking up early and doing all of these new, and like, you have to sacrifice your sleep. I don't think y'all are hearing me. Y'all have to sacrifice your sleep sometimes to really get where you want to be. And I'm not saying you need to sleep 2 hours a day. I'm saying if you're one of those people that are taking 2 naps a day, or you're sleeping 12 hours, like, bro, napping is a luxury that adult people can do on their own free will, but you have to actually give that up. That is something you need to sacrifice. You have a goal to meet your husband, but you do not want to give up the streets. I don't know who needed to hear that. I am talking to y'all, with y'all, because I have been there and done that. Once I started getting my life together, I done got me a man. Okay, I done got a promotion at work. Okay, I'm getting consistent here on this channel. I am living proof. Am I perfect? No. Am I exactly where I want to be? No. And that's why I said I will be engaging in more sacrifice in the coming months, because I have more that I want to work toward. But I genuinely and truthfully believe that if you practice more sacrifice in your life, it will grant you a better sense of gratitude. It will grant you more endurance and discipline and the perseverance that you need and the resilience that you need to be able to really and truly get it out the mud and get going to where you want to be, in addition to making some room and some space for the new blessings that may be waiting for you right on the other side of that discomfort. Well, you guys, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel and watching this video. I hope that it hit you in the spot that you needed to hear it, but rather that it reached anybody that's been in need of some motivation. That's always my goal with this channel, is to inspire you, to positively motivate you, and to help you work towards your goals, and to teach you through my mistakes and my example and my experiences. With that being said, I couldn't be more grateful for your support. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell, because there will be lots more content coming your way very, very soon. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.